Hey guys, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So, we are here for our next episode, episode 2, with me, Pranav Sharma, and Ryan from Singapore. Welcome,
Hello.
Ryan, to our brand new second episode.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pranav. And yes, I'm excited to share with you and our viewers and listeners for this episode new wisdom and insights to take our lives to the next level.
Yeah. So, hope guys you like our first episode, which was related to how AI can help in education. And today's our next topic of this podcast is very interesting. I guess you hope all of you will like this. So our next topic is that how economy and data privacy and cyber security are interrelated, and how it impacts and creates an impact on both the things conjointly. So let's begin. Rand, would you like to give your introduction first, and then tell our viewers what you do and from where you are?
Thanks, Pranav. So my name is Ryan. I am from Singapore. I am the founder of Genius Generation Youth Coaching. So what we do is career preparation, and we evolve youth to stretch their career dreams so that they can become irresistibly attractive for their dream jobs in the 21st century. Okay? And of course, we do this by elevating their consciousness, teaching them life skills, and a lot of emerging trends, right? How to master them so that they can have a peace of mind and navigate whatever the future throws at them with grace and with confidence. On to you, Pranav.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan, for letting our audience know about yourself. So let's begin our today's podcast. It is about the economy and data privacy and cybersecurity. So, okay, I'll start the question. Like, Ryan, can you please let our audience know about the data? What is data? Because in today's time, actually, people are talking about data. That no, data is the new gold and new oil, and people are like behind the data and collecting data from like all the sources which are relevant to their businesses. But yeah, could you shed some light on the data? What data actually is, and how we can use it?
Well, I'll give a very layman term. Basically, data is like information about yourself, and then it has the potential to be utilized in a variety of ways, right? For example, how to track somebody, how to improve somebody's quality of life, right? So definitely it is very important, and the more personal the data, the more valuable it is, right? You just have to look at the data breaches across many huge companies across the world to know that it is definitely a very powerful currency that can be used to empower or even disempower, blackmail people into, giving up maybe more data or to give up money to these bad agents.
Yeah, yeah. And like how this data, how this data can be manipulated and can be utilized in the way we can say, in a positive and negative manner. If you can tell our viewers about it, what's your view on it?
Yeah, well, with the internet, it is now accessible, right? A lot of our data that we share publicly through social media, for example, it's publicly accessible by anybody, right? So as long as they have a hold on, let's say, our name, our location, they can easily find us and then take whatever data they can through things like screenshots, recordings, and then manipulate it to their own will, right? A very stark example would be recently I came across this documentary by DW. They talked about how a lot of women, they have their pictures online, right?
Yeah.
So what men would do is that they would take these pictures, doctor the pictures, and then put them into deep fakes, often of a pornographic nature.
Oh, that is what called image morphing is.
Yes, correct. So it's very traumatizing for them. I can't even begin to imagine what would happen if one day they wake up, they just see, hey, my picture has been manipulated, and now people are in a way slut shaming me all across the globe, for something I didn't even do.
Yeah. Because as far as I have the understanding of this data and data privacy related topics, because I have been associated with the I4C MHA, like I have done the trainings part and I've been a part of those training modules, which is called Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, which comes under the head of Ministry of Home Affairs in India. So I'll tell you, like, according to me, what I also feel like, data, what data is actually refers to a distinct pieces of information, which typically in a structured or non-structured format can be stored, manipulated, as you mentioned, and analyzed. And like it can be categorized in two categories. First is structured and second is unstructured data. Yeah. And like data is, yes, it is very crucial in these time, because yes, which as you go on any of the social media or any of the, I guess, e-commerce platform. So where if you like any of the product or save it in your cart, if you will see, eventually it will start coming on your social media accounts or give suggestions. So this is how at what speed actually data these people are utilizing our data. We see that, yes, we often say no, we are protected, our privacy is there. There is no privacy in today's time when you are actually by your own self giving permissions to settle up your cookies, and the people are actually studying your data on a regular basis, on a regular behavior, and on that basis these entrepreneurs do suggest you the products and the things, what you can use on a daily basis in your households or for your personal use.
Exactly. Right. There's this saying, right? If the product is free, then you are the product, and then the data is being circulated in whatever, ways around the internet by these product service providers. Yeah. So that's why I feel once something is on the internet, it is actually there forever already, right? And it can be utilized in whatever way. So the best that I found that what we can do is to make sure that before we put something online, we got to really make sure that, is this something I'm okay with having put out there? Yeah, if I'm hesitant about it, I start to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not very comfortable with this, then perhaps it is better to not fall prey to our vanity, and instead just put it back, right? Don't put it up there at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and like because this thing becomes also very important, this data privacy, because today's time, when we talk about personal privacy or trust and reputation, compliances and regulation, and personal identity theft, this becomes very much important. It is like considered as a crime in these times. When we talk about personal privacy, individuals have a fundamental right to privacy, including the protection of their personal information. Data privacy ensures that individuals have control over how their data collected, used, shared, and stored wherever it is. And without adequate privacy protections, individuals may subject to various forms of intrusion, exploitation, and surveillance. And I guess if you'll see right now, major of the countries like Malaysia, Singapore, India, and Southeast Asian nations are actually fighting or having this tussle with the companies like Google, Amazon, and Meta and Twitter, so that they can settle up their store, their offices, their headquarters in the country itself, so that the data should not go out of the country. It should remain in the country so that it can be accessible. It should not be like that, oh, our data is stored on cloud in some other country, and then it gives the feel like, is it safe? Will it be safer or not? Because as many as cases as you see, as you mentioned also about image morphing, and the dark web also exists.
The dark web, oh yes.
Data is actually been sold over darknet, and you'll not be able to measure like on what scale your data has been sold out, and where and to which country even. in today's time people say that Bitcoin is very safe, as blockchain technology is very advanced and very very safer. But no, hackers have hacked even Bitcoin, even blockchain. So it is like, in today's time, as this technology is evolving, I don't think so that our things are most safer right now these days, because it also comes under the under the compliance and regulations, as governments around the world have enacted data protection laws and regulations to safeguard individuals' privacy rights. Compliance with these regulations, such as the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR), so it is in Europe, and the Californian Consumer Privacy Act in the USA. So it is essential for avoiding legal consequences, fines, and penalties. Ensuring data privacy helps organizations meet their legal obligations and avoid regulatory scrutiny.
Very well put. So that is what we have to get in place, because as we shift to a more increasingly digital world, definitely data is going to be more valuable, and definitely we will see evolving bad actors who will utilize AI and all kinds of software, dark web included, to manipulate our data. So we really have to be I mean on the side of the light side, right, so to speak. We have to be very vigilant, and to ensure that we, on a personal basis, also ensure that we do not fall prey to these tactics. Oftentimes, they may take our data unknowingly, but also they will also use tactics whereby they will ask us to, let's say, click a button, for example, right? So as long as we don't click that button, at least we're also doing our part to help.
Yeah, and Ryan, what do you think about how the data privacy topic and cybersecurity together is relevant?
How's it relevant? Yeah, well, I do have some tips today for you and our viewers. So perhaps I'll just share my screen to show you a few slides.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
I guess no, not right now.
Okay. Basically, I'm just going to share about some personal examples very close to home. So in that sense, I also hope that you and the viewers will be able to empathize and see how you can apply these lessons to your own situations as well.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if the screen is up, and then I can proceed.
If you can share the screen again, Ryan.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay, so you can see blood, sweat, tears gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is something that hit very close to home. So if you see, actually, this is pretty recent, Pranav. On the left side of the screen, you see in the red box, these are emails that I've gotten in my own account about someone trying to log into my LinkedIn. Okay, so as you know me, LinkedIn is where I'm often at, posting about my progress in life, and it was quite shocking to actually see this happen multiple times, right? So somebody from, if you look at the middle of the screen in this small rectangular box, right? Somebody from Bardstown, Kentucky, United States is constantly trying to log in to my account. So very disturbing, actually, right? And I don't know anyone from Kentucky. The only Kentucky I know is Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? Which I really love, and I would not like to see Kentucky used in this way. So that's why it really got me thinking, right? I have to focus on changing my password, focus on making sure that I do not kind of post sensitive information elsewhere on the internet that will enable them, this person, whoever he or she is, to get access to my accounts, right? Another safeguard that I took was also to back up my LinkedIn profile, download a PDF of what I've achieved. So at least if my account gets hacked or something, and then at least I'll have some backup data to bounce back and not start from scratch. I'm not sure, Pranav, if you also been getting invitations from very pretty women on LinkedIn. I mean, obviously these are spam bot accounts or something, but they like to start with a message like, "Hi, how are you? I would like to know you more." Have you been getting emails, messages like that?
Not messages, but yeah, over emails. Yes, I do get all these emails actually on my Gmail
This
account.
email.
Yeah, that is why
Okay.
it becomes very important, because many a times what happens is people do actually get trapped in all these activities and all these things, and
Mm,
that is why actually I guess our role is also become very important to guide or teach these people out there,
mm,
or to our audience, that how to safeguard themselves to from
yes.
all these activities. Because if today if it can happen with us, I guess it can happen with anybody else out there.
Mm,
And right now, because of there is one more reason behind this. If you'll see, in today's time, the economy of every nation is going down. Whether
mm,
you take the example of South Korea, USA, Japan, China, India, UK, even, and
mm,
South American continent and all. So economies are actually struggling a lot. And the thing is, because of all these things, employment is not there. People are actually looking for a job, but when when these things does not happen, people actually engage into such illegal or indecent activities, which
exactly.
actually leads up to crimes. And
Mm,
there is no person who can tell them actually, oh, that man, this is not good, this is not to be done. you know that is why, I guess, apart from all the things, that's cyber awareness is actually very much important. That in the time, in the today's time, where the world is very small, not that big, like everyone is connected to everyone, it has becoming that short. So why not giving, or providing the cybersecurity education or data education to everyone, that how to use it in a legitimate manner, so that it can be into their progress. It should make them progress, but not to make send them into a jail.
mm, mm,
So that
correct.
is the thing. Because
Mm,
when you talk about data, protecting data from unauthorized access, I would like to tell my audience today that that our audience, that how both the things are very important in today's time. How to protect data and how to not to go on unauthorized access. If you'll see, if you have if you have any time, if you have downloaded the application from the Play Store, so there is a
mm,
option in which the descriptions are given, and the um, permissions option is also there, that what permissions do that particular application needed. So in that case, you can see if the apart from your camera album, if application is taking the other information, like contact details and all. So I guess we
correct.
should, it should be a red flag, and I guess no install application, so that
Mm,
it should actually infringe your personal data and can actually then access to your things. And before also, going to a download for a particular file, you can also always see that on in which year it has been uploaded to the Play Store, and apart from that, how many downloads are also there, so that you should get an idea about the is that application is legitimate or not.
yes, that's a good metric. Mm,
Yeah. And actually it becomes very much important, because many times what happens is, in a if a in a general audience, people don't get to know this thing, that if malware or spyware has been installed within their Android or iOS applications, we don't get to know this thing, right? So
mm,
that is the major key concern, that even after downloading the things, the thing is, on the front end, people don't get to know about all these things, but yeah, at the back end, everything is happening, and these spywares and malwares taking data of your personal details and then sending it to other sources, right?
mm,
So that creates a issue. So in that case, both data privacy and cybersecurity aims to protect data from unauthorized access, where it's by hackers, cyber criminals, or malicious insiders, which I told you, malwares or spywares. So data privacy measures such as access control, encryption, and authentication mechanisms are essential component of cybersecurity strategies to prevent data breaches and unauthorized disclosure. And that also leads up to ensuring data integrity. When we talk about data integrity, data privacy efforts involve ensuring that personal and sensitive information which remains accurate and unaltered. Similarly, cybersecurity measures such as data validation, integrity checks, and secure transmission protocols, which also helps maintaining the integrity of data by preventing unauthorized modifications, tampering, and corruption. Because many majority of time what also happens is that if we are not using any of the sim card what we are having, or any of the phones, so what we do is we damage it and then we throw it up. But in actual sense it does not get damaged, right? It can also be tampered again. And I've seen these things, uh, in front of my eyes in these laboratories, that how these things can be compromised and tampered. So it, like, you can then take out data very easily, so easily that a person cannot even think of that, okay, that this data can be culled out from this pattern also.
That's right. So that's why on the layman perspective, apps like the Google Play Secure app, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
Google Play Protect, if I'm not wrong. Yes, that one can help to scan apps already before we download them. Yeah. So
True.
that is one way we can safeguard ourselves, right? I also want to share about this incident that I also got. So you mentioned that the economy is going down and people might end up, becoming mules for this kind of scam jobs to earn money for their families, right?
Yeah.
So I happen to be on the receiving end, perhaps, of one of these either mules or scammers. So this was more like a sex scam. Okay, so I think this was at a time I was pretty lonely in COVID or something. So I just chatted up this person. Or in fact, this person started to message me.
Yeah.
Right, and then I was pretty happy, so I just went along. And then later on, I started to see red flags coming up in our conversations.
Yeah.
Right. So if you see on the right over here, it was she was asking more to like meet up. We were talking about normal things at first, lifestyle, what you do, what you like. And then slowly she started to ask, do you want to meet up for a video call? And then the language started to get a bit funny. So that was when I was, a bit skeptical already. But I said, okay, let's play along and see what will happen. Maybe it will be a good learning point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then here, Pranav, don't let your imagination go wild. But this is, what actually transpired from her side. And this was when I decided to pull the plug and block her already, because it was getting a bit too scary. And later on, I found out that, scams like these happen to bait young people into giving money to these scammers. You know why? Because when these scammers catch these youngsters in compromising positions, right, through the video call, then they can blackmail the youngster and say, give me money or I'll share this picture of yours on the internet for everyone to see. You will be eternally shamed, right? And of course, scarred for life. Yeah. So so just a reminder up there to everybody. So to be safe, even when it comes to matters of the heart. Yeah.
True. Yeah. No, actually, it becomes very much offending also from the user's point of view. That if somebody gets these sort of activities or messages on their personal chat, or on any of the social media, it actually very disheartening to see, and mentally also is very very irritating that, oh, these things also happens exist. So it actually frustrates many a times that why all these things happens or takes place.
Yeah, definitely it will take place because these scammers, perhaps they don't even like it. Perhaps they were even forced into it by their higher ups, right? But they have no choice, but because they want to sustain their livelihood, so they reluctantly engage in this. Yeah. So sometimes I see my friends, they boast about, scamming back the scammer, scolding them. Okay. I mean, of course, that's a natural reaction.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you never know, this scammer could just be part of the operation and forced into it. Yeah, our main target should be the ones at the very top, the ones who, the so-called masterminds or spearheading the whole thing. They are the ones with the malicious intentions, and they have made pawns out of everybody else down the chain, right? So this is why I decided to move on to kind of have a more participative role in the cybersecurity and digital literacy space. So in 2023, I was appointed a project lead for various programs by Microsoft, Google, .org, and Bamboo Builders, right? And also with ASEAN Foundation. So together, we went around the countries like Malaysia, Cambodia, Singapore to educate the populace about digital literacy skills, how to be cyber safe online, right? So that we can counter these so-called Nigerian princes or people with huge inheritances that they want to give to us, of all people, right? Suddenly a random email just comes in like that. So we have to also find a way to watch our greed so that it doesn't get the better of us. Yeah. And for my last slide for this section, I also have some tips for our viewers, right? There are two sites that I learned from ASEAN Foundation and Google.org, right? First one is, Have I Been Pwned? So Pranav, you can also try this for yourself. You can put your email in this website, and then it will tell you whether it has been involved in a data breach or whether it has been compromised. Yeah, so it's a very powerful website. In fact, I tried this. My email was pwned 8 times. Yeah, so I could actually see what actually happened. And of course, Virus Total is another site that you can use to check the integrity of your online files, URL websites as well. Yeah, so I mean, all these little baby steps that we can take just to safeguard ourselves, it can save us from a whole lot of trouble later. Yeah, and what you mentioned just now earlier, how to also ensure your OS, your systems are protected from malicious agents, right? So things like disable auto login, turn on the firewall, back up your files, which is definitely important. You don't want like decades of work to just get held ransom, right, by some WannaCry virus. Then you have to pay money, and you never know whether they'll even give it back. Yeah, so antivirus as well. So I think things like that that we can do on a daily basis will definitely help us in this war against the whatever is out there, whatever that is trying to stop us from enjoying our lives online.
True. Actually, it is very true, and I'll tell you because I have also written one paper on data privacy and protection, ethical consideration in AI, and how the agencies or the national institutions in India itself, how these people are playing a greater role, and I'll say the huge role, to making public awareness or creating awareness, and apart from this thing, to safeguard them if the money is being stolen or any other illegal activity has been done with these people, like image morphing and all, in relation to data theft. So because there is one organization which is called NCRP, National Records Crime Bureau, and apart from that, what they do is they report. These are into report cyber crimes, and apart from reporting cyber crimes, they complaint tracking, they do complaint forwarding, and do public awareness. So these are the things what this NCRP is doing over here. This is called National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. So I would like to also tell out my Indian audience also that if they are actually struggling, or if anything has been happened or taken place with these people, they can just directly go to the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal and then report over there that this is the thing which has been done to them, and in this manner. And apart from this thing, there another cell which is actually very much involved and active into this domain is Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, I4C-MHA. So these both are the organizations are there which are actually very much involved and active in these sort of activities in the Indian context. And if I'll tell you about the international arena, so yeah, in the international laws also, like when we talk about GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and Convention on Crime, Cybercrime, which has been which came along Budapest Convention. So it also been termed as Budapest Convention. So yeah, that is another. And apart from this, the Privacy Shield Framework, PSF. So it was facilitated by U.S. Department of Commerce and the European Commission. The Privacy Shield framework, actually what they do is they enables organizations to transfer personal data from the EU and Switzerland to the United States, while ensuring adequate data protection standards, which require participating organizations to adhere to privacy principles similar to those to the GDPR, the way they do in the GDPR, which is called General Data Protection Regulation. Might be possible that these terms are pretty very large and sounds like a jargon, but yeah, you know uh, but are actually very much important. Like another one was the Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection, the Data Protection Convention, also drafted by the Council of Europe. And the Data Protection Convention aims to strengthen data protection and cybersecurity measured at a global level. So it emphasizes the protection of personal data, the prevention of unauthorized accesses, which usually takes place because if you have seen that if you might be using your application over the desktop also, you'll get a pop-up that your system has been hacked by malware or the antivirus. But that these ads are no go. You should not click on these sort of ads, because if you'll click, your data has been gone. You'll not be able to even know that, oh, then I have given the permission, right? So that is the thing what happens, because on that they also show that that they take you to another website, but at the same time they also take permission on the click, that they store the cookies, and apart from storing cookies, within them there are spywares, ransomware, and malwares which are stored into their particular pop-up. So these are the few activities which should not be a person should not do or should not go ahead with. What do you say, Ryan?
Yeah, so that's why discernment is so important, because nowadays the scams are getting much more sophisticated. One example is scammers will pretend to be your long lost relative or long lost friend whom you know, right? And then they'll impersonate the voice and try to convince you to eventually transfer them money. And then out of the goodness of heart, you do that, and then you realize, wait a minute, like actually it's another person, right? But then it's too late. By the time even life savings in Singapore, for example, there's one case study, it was wiped out in a matter of weeks, and in years of working for a lifetime's inheritance, and then it's all gone in weeks to some stranger, right? So it is actually very scary, and we really have to be aware of the psychology that these scammers can manipulate, right? Marketing psychology, all this can be used for nefarious purposes and get us to surrender our data, our assets, and then we'll just come out, none the wiser.
True. Because if I tell you, the types of crimes and frauds which can take place, whatever the country be it is, there are instances like of data breach, identity theft, phishing, and social engineering, AI-powered cyber attacks, deep fake, manipulation, algorithm bias and discrimination, data misuse by organizations, insider threats, data manipulation and tampering, which you also mentioned. After that, unauthorized surveillance, ransomware attacks, job and employment scam. And it was actually very much intriguing that right now these days what's happening is that these fake companies, employment companies, gives you a call, takes your information, and then collect that data and then sells, and they don't never give you any job opportunity or any sort of take you to any of the interview, but they collect your data, and one should be actually beware about all these things, what's are happening. And apart from all these things, that online shopping frauds, cyberbullying, and online harassment, online banking and credit fraud, credit card frauds. So these things are there, and if you are aware about, I don't know, this incident took place in Singapore and India itself. What these people did, that because China was also involved in this thing. I don't know who will be listening this thing our podcast or not, but yeah, uh, uh, from this online banking, like there were some loan apps, they do not used to give you the high amount of loan, but yeah, they used to give you very short loans, very minimum bare loans, like 35,000 rupee, or 20,000 bucks and all. So these people used to give this much of loan. Or maximum range was 50,000, this much loan. But you will be very, you'll act very strange that the amount was they used to recover back, it was 100 times of that amount what they used to give to the customer. And what they used to do is, the interest rate was also 110%, and with the 110% interest rate these people used to give. And when the customer is unable to pay, so what they used to do is, they used to infringe, first of all, the user's information. They used to take out the documentation, like in India it is called Aadhaar card, the way it is been mentioned in the USA as like a green card, right? So in the same manner, what they used to do is, they used to manipulate the information by keeping the name similar, but yeah, changing the image, or might be using your image, and then they used to manipulate that, and then they used to torture you or blackmail you, that through this thing, like, oh, this person is, this fake person is there, is roaming around, don't trust this person, can call to your personal contact, to your relatives, friends, parents, that, oh, this person has did this, do not be there with this person. So these sort of illegal activities are also happening, and you'll be amazed to know that on a daily basis, because of all these loan apps, from India, around 13,000 crore rupees on a daily basis was being laundered from India to China. So that is the thing, that that you cannot even imagine that these things also prevails, and these sort of activities are also happening right now. And that is why it becomes important on the lines of how we can, or a government should together make people aware about these activities, and people should not get trapped into such illegal activities or so that they can be safeguarded, and yeah, in a legitimate manner, how they can become a part of a circular economy, and then how on the basis of that, how they can move ahead or go forward. I guess this can be the thing, but what can be taken forward or taken ahead. What do you say, Ryan?
Yeah, education is definitely the catalyst we need, right? Because speaking from personal experience, I also didn't know the scam was a scam, right? Until it happened, right? By the time it's too late already. And even if I wanted to do something about it, I couldn't, because the money either is gone, or you are scarred already, and you end up becoming distrustful of other people, right? So, and also learning from all these case studies that I've come across, it's also very saddening to see that the police also sometimes can't do much to help the people. Yeah, so it really falls on us to be educated, to be aware. So whenever the red flag comes up, we can say, okay, this is fishy, and we're going to stop it right there. Right? Yeah. Usually, I mean, the rule of thumb is, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is, right? Like a little bit of effort and so much gain, right? I mean, that's how they get your attention, the scammers. Yeah, if we can identify that, then I'll say it's a good first step already to be scam proof.
True, very true. And next thing I would like to ask you, Ryan, like, what do you think, like, how, considering all these things in the mind, like, about data privacy, cyber security and all, and like the economical aspects also, then how to deal with the AI and technology, like, internet of things, so that we can, we can create a circular economy, not just in the case of urban areas, but how in the cases of villages itself, so that they can create smart villages based on the concept of smart cities. you know a smart city project by also fueling or fulfilling the energy requirements based on the sustainable lines, by introducing such technology over there at those places. What do you think?
A very big question and a very relevant one. So I think to address this, let's have a bit of sharing here. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again, Pranav, and then you let me know if you can see it. This might put things into perspective.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, do you see the slide now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I recently read this book, 5 Regions of the Future. Okay, it's written by futurists Joel A. Barker and Scott W. Erickson. So they have looked at technological evolutions across the years, right? And they have categorized all the tech we have into these 5 categories, 5 regions. Okay, so allow me some time to quickly go through. I mean, you have your super tech. I mean, this is the one that's taking center stage right now. Mega cities, robots, AI, spaceships, right? Bigger is better. That's their motto. Okay. We have limit tech. So this looks more at things like energy efficiency. Like scarcity is something that they do not take lightly, right? Because resources are scarce, we have to be efficient in how we use them. So preservation, recycling. There's also local tech. So all the technologies that have to do with localized villages and so on, which is similar to what we are talking about now. Things like bicycles, stereolithography, or in other words, 3D printing, right? Local 3D printing, windmills. We also have nature tech. So learning from nature, like learning how the glue made from mussels, actually very strong, the glue from mussels, we can use it in our own like industrial applications, maggot therapy, which you might have heard of before. Spider silk even to weave clothes together. Very interesting. And of course, not forgetting human tech, which are things like chronobiology. What is your chronotype? Apparently, there's research saying that at certain times of the day, we are more better able to absorb information or better able to problem solve, right? So let's say your morning larks, your night owls, and of course things like gene therapy, even the mother's milk as well. The mother can customize her milk to nurse her infant according to its his or her needs. So it is very amazing to see all these techs put together, but also very alarming, because if certain techs are prioritized, then in the future we might see a destruction of the underutilized techs. So like I said before, super tech is now taking center stage, but the thing is that the other 4 techs, limits, local, nature, and human, there's a risk of them being wiped out, in favor of all these bigger is better technologies. So to bring in what we've discussed so far, okay, we're gonna look at things like local tech. Okay, we're gonna zoom in for local tech today, and we're gonna see how certain examples can be used to bring out this sustainable smart village. Okay, so let's say in countries like India, even in smart cities like Singapore, what kind of technologies do we utilize responsibly to help us live better quality lives, right? So I've also brought in certain SDGs for today that we can use to compare with the technologies here. So we're going to play a game, okay, Pranav? I'm going to go through each of these power cards, and then you're going to let me know how they fit in according to the SDGs on the left. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure. Amazing.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So based on the book, right, I've narrowed down a few of these local tech that we can use in a smart local city. So the first thing will be a windmill, right? A windmill can definitely provide electricity. Okay. So Pranav, what do you think this windmill will correspond to in terms of SDGs?
Like when we talk about windmill and producing electricity,
Mm.
I'll tell you, it will result to the clean energy first of all,
Mm.
and apart from building clean energy, they will also add upon to our SDG 11 goal, sustainability and what it is, sustainable cities and consumption, on the lines of using clean energy and also aligned to the I'm sorry, to the decent work and economic growth and affordable clean energy, which is SDG 7, SDG 7, SDG 9, and SDG 11. So these three SDGs are actually aligned to this particular energy source. Yeah.
Mm. Excellent. You're going beyond the scope already, right? So you can see how powerful it is, right? This kind
Yeah.
of technology. Yeah. And for those who are complaining, oh, I have no wind in my area, then of course you have the sun, right? So that's where
Yeah.
the solar chimney comes in. Okay. Another technology mentioned in the book, whereby they can, really collect the
Yeah.
sun's energy to provide electricity for the entire village, so to speak. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see this impacting the same SDGs as before, Prana?
Yeah. Solar panels and windmills and the hydro energy actually results into all these things. Like again, I'll tell you about SDG 7, SDG 8, 9, and 12. So yeah, these things comes into picture.
Excellent.
But yes, it will all only happen when when we are talking about quality education and quality education. Then how it is related to no poverty and zero hunger, because when you are doing good, or when the particular country's citizens are doing good, they will be above the poverty line. They will not be
Mm.
below the poverty line. So yes, if they are n- not poor, they'll be having something to eat. They'll be full fledged from or I'll say that feel complete from the from the stomach itself. And yes, if they are getting good nutrients, nutritional value, iron, vitamins, everything, then then it actually develops your brain, and then it leads to our SDG goal 3, that is called good health and well-being. So yeah, everything is that interrelated, and that is
Mm.
how we can also achieve the goal of SDG 7, 8, 9, and 11. So yeah, these are the things.
Yes, excellent, right? So yes, definitely education is the catalyst, right, to bring
True.
awareness, and then once all these technologies are implemented, then we can definitely achieve these SDGs, right?
Yeah.
Mm. All right, so we look at stereolithography now. Basically means 3D printing, okay? But the thing is that every local village will have their own, mini portable 3D printer that they can use to print products for their local businesses.
Yeah.
So you mentioned just now the Internet of Things and AI.
Yeah.
These printers, I'm sure technology will make it so. These printers will be able to connect to the internet, leverage any open source software or designs, and then print these goods for local sale. So in that sense, the village can survive, which also leads to more prospering of local prospects.
Yeah.
And of course, AI can actually get the job done much faster. So in this sense, it kind of keeps the the village afloat with income. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, actually, it is very much important. Like when we talk about 3D printing and all, it makes our lives easier. Than if anything is not available at the at our instance, then I guess because of the help of 3D printer, we can actually print them up and then utilize them or use them on the ground itself. Till the time we are not having some other resources or options available. So yeah, this is the very best actually option to go forward with the these sort of technologies when we talk about, especially into the farming and going on field in rural areas itself. So yeah, this actually gives an edge to particular economy, and helping them out on to generating a regular circular economy, and shifting towards from the gray economy to the shared and inclusive economy, towards inclusive economy, and can uplift the GDP. at the end. So yeah, this can be the, I guess, good positive side of introducing this technology.
So that means, Pranav, if I was a farmer in India and one of my farming tools broke, can I use this 3D printer, get a blueprint for that tool online, and then get this 3D printer to print the tool with an eco-friendly kind of 3D printing material?
Why not? Why not? We can use it up, but it also depends on the type of land what you have. Because if the land is very hard, I doubt that it can be useful. But yeah, when we talk about places like that where the soil is loose and the in the fields like paddy fields and all, yes, this technology can be very much utilized at a very good extent. So yeah, why not?
I see. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also have things like plant-based medicines, Pranav. So basically, the plants all around us, definitely some will have medicinal properties, right? So that's why this card is saying, I give you natural remedies to illness, right? I think this is something that our ancestors have done also. They just pluck the specific plants from the ground and then they apply it to some paste, Even in the book, I read that animals also use these plants. They have this intelligence to use certain plants to resolve their illness. Like, I think there was this monkey who ate a specific plant so that it could pass out intestinal worms. Right? Amazing, huh? Okay. And then one more example is an elephant actually going out of a territory to eat a specific bark of a tree. And why? So that it could induce labor in her to give birth to her baby. So that was, I found it pretty amazing, right? So if we humans could look further into this plant-based medicine realm, then definitely we'll be able to resolve a lot of situations on the ground. What do you think?
True. This is these sort of innovations and these sort of, I guess, ideas can be implemented in a very good scale, and can also give us the better results in terms of sustainability and to reduce the carbon emissions and go in a very healthy manner, so that we can overcome these climate conditions also, and by using these climate resilience tools. So yeah, and people don't actually recognize and that how much this nature related things are very much important, and how to what level trees are important, because at the pace right now and the construction or the development is happening, we are actually reducing our green cover, which actually gives us the mental peace also. Because if you are frustrated, you'll see eventually, and that by looking at your screen 10 hours till 11 hours, and if you immediately then shift your focus towards the any of the green plant, or over the forest area, or nearby your garden, you'll feel very relaxed instantly.
Exactly.
Right. So it is very soothing to the eyes. It gives the feel of that you are fresh. So this is the actually magic of the nature. But the thing is, people are actually not able to realize this thing, and that is also a very big issue. What is happening right now, that this global melting, which is happening, in global heating, which is leading up for the water level rise of the oceans. And according to that report, it also showcased these things, that the countries, the island countries, the small island countries will be underwater.
Yes, like Singapore. Yes.
After 2050, yeah, and it is actually very much concerning, because we are doing regularly. We are doing these emissions, carbon emissions, and all. Today we undoubtedly we use refrigerators or ACs, air cons, but at the end these are the only things which creates the chain reaction when we talk about ozone layer, and it is then once that chain reaction starts happening, it is never ending process then.
Yes, you're right. Which is why you have perfectly illustrated how super tech, right,
Yeah,
is actually overpowering things like local tech.
yeah,
And then because of that, we're gonna lose a lot of wonderful wonders from nature itself. That we could actually
yeah,
use to resolve our
yeah,
problems in the
yeah.
world.
And that is why these five. Could you please shift to the previous slide, Ryan?
No problem.
The main slide.
Mm,
See, that is why these five things becomes very important when you talk about super tech, limit tech, limits technology, and local tech, nature tech, and human tech. By combining all these things, I guess a person or a particular individual or nation can go into the sustainable manner ahead, and that can be a very good approach.
mm,
Uh, Doing things side by side, like even development and uh, in coordination with the nature. So I guess
mm,
this can be the measure what state our global leaders or our individual representatives who are there in the countries can actually focus upon and do things right way, because
yes.
we have not created this legacy. We are actually on the debt of our upcoming generation. So we
Mm,
are not living on our ancestral property, but yes, we are actually ending up the resources of our future upcoming generation. So we
mm,
are actually living upon their resources. We are on the debt. So what we will give them, that becomes a very important priority of the things right now these days, which people should understand, that we are actually reducing the resources of our future upcoming generation.
mm,
And from this thing, I'll also tell that sorry, that there's another topic which is actually very much important, very much exciting also, that how uh, we can by implementing those technologies, while AI or IoT or any of the technology which can actually uplift our agriculture sector, which is primary
mm,
sector, and manufacturing sector, which is called a secondary sector, how these technologies can uplift them so that to increase you know the revenue rates, the outcome, and by going bottom top down, how these things can create trickle down effect in the rural areas and peri-urban areas, where these people should not then leave their actual work what they are doing from past so many years, from the so many generations, and stick to those that work itself. And by implementing such technologies, they can actually get more yields or able to generate more yields. you know that is what our goal should be when we talk about going sustainable, and developing our nations, and how to contribute the economy or GDP in a more greater sense. Then I
mm,
guess this will be the thing what we'll be discussing in our next episode. So let's make our audience wait till then. They can also think up or come up with some ideas or suggestions, so that they can also send us their views, what they also think about all these things. They're on the lines of shared responsibility, inclusivity, equity, and diversity, so
mm,
that people can come up together. They can provide suggestions, ideas, knowledge, and then on the basis of then togetherness, how we can work on achieving all these things in a greater extent. That is where only, I guess, the achievement of the goal of all the SDGs will be fulfilled. Am I
mm.
right, Ryan?
Yeah, very true. In fact, these regions can actually influence policy making and education, right, when it comes to helping out the next generation. Because we only have one planet at this point in time, so we really have to take good care of it. Otherwise, yeah, we're all doomed. Mm,
Yeah. So I guess let's wrap it up this over here and leave our audience to to think upon all these lines, and we'll be back with our next episode on the lines of how AI and IoT or these technologies can uplift us when it comes to advancement of the particular thing, and how it can then grow our economy, GDP, so as to scale it up on a larger extent. So I guess so. Guys, let's meet you in our next podcast. So till then, stay tuned, and yes, like our pages, subscribe, comment, and share both Policy Tank and yes, the Genius Generation. And stay tuned with us. Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. See you all soon.